When we are first jumping off the wheel of fear and really tapping into the core of who we are rather than how we've been conditioned to be, it can feel uncomfortable. Just like when we started Carnivore. It felt a little uncomfortable. It felt weird to not have that side dish. It felt weird to tell family and friends, oh, I'm not having that gluten-free dessert anymore. Thanks so much for thinking of me, and I'm not doing it. Hey, if you have started eating mostly meat in your diet, you have done something amazingly hard. You have gone against the grain, and you have done things that most people would never even dream of doing. And this only proves that you can do the hard things in other areas of your life too.
And today we're going to talk about how that mindset can translate. And we're going to use me as a guinea pig.
So when we started Carnivore, did you have any worries about what it was going to do to you?
Well, I was worried about eating all the saturated fat. I was worried about heart health.
Yeah.
But by that point, I was desperate to try something that would work. And there was so many new testimonials coming on YouTube in particular, where people were having these great successes. And we started to see some of the doctors explaining why it worked. And simple facts that I never knew, like all of the nutrients in red meat. I had no idea there was all the minerals and vitamins in red meat. I thought it was just protein and fat because I was uneducated.
Yeah, that was part of the messaging.
Yeah.
That was like out of the spotlight. La, la,
And
la.
I knew that in broccoli, there was a bunch of vitamins and minerals that were good for me, but I had no idea about the anti-nutrients in broccoli because no one's going to talk that up because broccoli already has a lot going against it just in flavor.
So coming into Carnivore or eating a mostly meat diet, even keto, requires a whole shift
Yeah, it really does.
in the mental paradigm.
Because it was hard to give up those foods. And I was like eating Quest bars because I
Yeah.
thought, well, that's high protein and the sugar in it isn't for real, so it doesn't really count. So I was very into net carbs. But I was ignoring that kind of food really upset my stomach and my gut.
The whole idea when we toyed with keto in the past of trying to build the whole meal around keto, and you've got the meat course, but then you need, well, we're not doing starches, so what are we going to do for that side? And then you've got the veggie side that can't be too high in carbs. So how am I going to create this plate with keto?
Well, you do it with sides that taste awful and are repulsive and hard on my gut.
Oh, I had one cheesy asparagus that I put on heavy rotation.
I hated that asparagus.
You got really sick of it, yeah.
But the type of a carby health food that I liked would be something like a sweet potato.
Oh, yeah.
And when we did Whole30, I was indoctrinated into those because they were allowed.
That is how we did it. We added the sweet potato for that starch.
Yeah.
That part of it. Yep. And boy, was it a starch.
Full of oxalates too, it turned out.
So how did you get your mind around trying to do mostly meat? Now you said, obviously you were in desperation mode. I was in desperation mode to a certain extent too.
Having done keto successfully for periods of time, I understood that once I got through a certain phase of feeling like I was deprived, I would kind of get over it. I wanted improvement in my health. I wanted improvement in my prospects for a future. And I was willing to give anything a try. It turns out that once you're on the other side and habituated to it, the old things that I thought were so good don't even taste like food.
That is true. I had some M&Ms off plan, like early on in the early days. It was like, why?
They do not tempt me in the slightest.
No. But you mentioned something. You mentioned at first you felt deprived.
Yeah. I can be a pretty demonstrative eater. It was almost a daily thing back in my old life where I would get kind of hypoglycemic at around 11, and then I would have my lunch and I would be like, oh.
Yeah.
And it was like a drug reaction to that food, which then is a huge reward for that kind of food.
Yes.
And that perpetuates that. And it was very carb based.
Yes.
Very carb based. Now, I can make yummy noises around a carnivore meal. Like if I'm having my bacon eggs with a little hot sauce on it, with a little cheese, you've heard me go, oh, this is so good. And, but it's a different thing. I don't get that sort of relief kind of high feeling. It's just tasty. And I go, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about a carnivore meal that just gives me that relief that is a wrong kind of reward.
The relief, what do you think it's relieving?
Whatever that dopamine or whatever that hormonal release is, works like an opiate. And I think that because I tend to be a little bit sympathetic oriented in my nervous system, it gives me a break from it. I actually get this release, this parasympathetic kind of response, this relaxation, this loosening of tension.
Loosening of tension.
That feels extremely good. It's like, oh, it's better than a massage.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what you say is reminding me of that saying, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Yeah.
Right? I have to use that all the time. Like, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. In my life coaching world, righty-tighty is called the wheel of fear. So I'm going to actually bring that up right now. So this is righty-tighty, and I'll get back to that in a moment. And then lefty-loosey is sort of what we call freedom. We're habituated, of course, it's a survival mechanism, to really try to find relief and safety. And sometimes we do that in food. There's some sort of relief or safety or acceptance because we've been conditioned to have the celebrations and even like the grief around a funeral or something. There's this food. We have this not only physiologic response, but of course this mental response all around the food culture in whatever country you are coming from or culture you're coming from. The thing about the Wheel of Fear, the reason it's called the Wheel of Fear, this was created by Rhonda Britton of the Fearless Living Institute. It is not mine. Let me say that first. The reason it's called a wheel is because it's a cycle. Just like you were talking about that cycle of hypoglycemia and so forth, it's a cycle that keeps on going. So number one over here is the trigger, which is the worst fear possible for us, the worst fear. And those are individualized for people. Then we have a fear response. And then with the fear response, we are trying to avoid the trigger or prove it wrong completely. My core trigger is around being weak, being seen as weak. So if I need to power through the day, I'm going to use food as the example here, and not be seen as weak, like I'm not going to tell someone I need a nap if I'm feeling fear, right? So I'm going to have a Coca-Cola in days gone by so that I can power through the day and no one's going to think I'm weak, including me, right? I can get the things on my checklist done. I can do it. Okay. Once we move from fear response, pretty soon, as we know, the Coca-Cola stops working. Maybe we need 2 Coca-Colas, or maybe we swing back with that hypoglycemia and then we're falling asleep at our meeting later in the day, right? There's a snap back at some point in time, which throws us into our core negative feeling. It's feeling awful. And I'm not talking physically awful. Again, this is kind of the emotional awful. Mine is worthless. So, see, I was falling asleep through that meeting. Now I feel worthless. And now I need to take another nap. And it compounds.
I might as well have another Coke.
I might as well, right? Which is the self-destructive behavior on the bottom. Those are those patterns that we use to escape this feeling.
Okay, so
numb the feeling.
What's my trigger?
Your trigger we landed on recently, and do you remember it?
I thought it was stupid.
It was stupid. That's right. Yeah.
Because being seen as stupid is tantamount to dying for me.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you do in order not to be seen as stupid?
Don't say anything or research a lot, or, as you may know on this channel, offer 1 million caveats to everything I say to cover all possible angles of criticism.
Yeah. Now, we didn't get into your core negative feeling when we talked about this, but just pick one. It won't be an official one.
Is there a list that I pick from?
There is. I don't have it off.
So
worthless. I can't think of it right now.
Well, if I was caught being stupid, I would feel stupid.
No, it can't be the same.
No,
It's got to be
the
different.
same?
No. Helpless, worthless, failure.
I would feel extreme shame.
Shame? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what would you do to numb or escape the feelings of shame?
To numb it?
Yeah.
Probably through either self-medication through eating some treat or escaping into distraction, like a video game or books or something non-productive that takes me out of myself.
Right. It's an escape. Non-productive takes you out of yourself. And it just seems to prove that that you're stupid.
Yeah.
Because only a stupid person would keep doing these patterns.
Because what happens is after a while, you get sort of this like indulgence hangover and then you're like, I am stupid.
Yeah.
No smart person would have done what I just did for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, well, I guess I'll just do more of it.
Well, and that's the cycle.
I fortunately, I don't fall into the self-pity, self-punishment forever because I feel so icky. I have to get out of it.
So the mental affects your physical as well?
Of course it does.
Well, yeah. Who am I? I'm trying to put on my coaching hat and not make assumptions, but I do know that about you. So if you have enjoyed this conversation and you want to learn more and actually find out about your personal wheel of fear, because they're all different for everyone, we can schedule a live stream where we do that, where we dive deep into the wheel of fear, and I can give you all the details about it. If you're interested, make sure to comment what wheel of fear. Comment wheel of fear in the comments. And if we have enough interest, we will schedule that special live stream where we go deep into this. So I'm curious. I'm going to list. We have, with Fearless Living.
So what are we looking at here?
This is the top 12 symptoms of fear. So I'm going to run through them quickly. And then I'm going to want you to let me know what you think your top 3 are.
Okay. And so should viewers post those in the comments?
Yes, that's a great idea.
If you are willing to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because
it's personal.
Because I want to be really clear on this. Most people don't walk around going, "Oh, I'm in fear. I'm in fear. Oh, I'm eating this brownie because I'm in fear," right? Yet we have this pattern that it's very helpful. It's a helpful pattern. It's how we survive, right? If we're not afraid of the saber-toothed tiger, we're going to get eaten. So it's a pattern we want when it comes to our physical safety, but when it comes to our emotional safety, it is blown out of proportion. And it keeps us from being who we are, which is something that you said earlier, right? So here are the top 12 symptoms. Exhausted is one of them. Exhausted. So this isn't just, I didn't sleep well last night. Exhausted is that look at it. He's got an anchor, right? He has got all the burdens in the world. Maybe he's feeling overly responsible for things that you shouldn't. Trying to come up with things to cover every uncertainty. Exhaustion. Confusion. Feeling misunderstood. Nobody gets me. Paranoia. Maybe you can see a little more closer connection to fear with paranoia.
Yeah.
This little tornado is out of control, spiraling, spinning, out of control. Paralyzed. We've got another name for this. Tyrannosaurus arms.
Yeah. I can't reach. It's too far from me.
Defeated. It's game over. You're out of the game. Ugh. This one was a huge one for me. Overwhelmed. You're just juggling everything, feel like you're doing too many things and can't control any of it. Self-righteous. I'm right and you're wrong.
Self-righteous has 3 arms.
It does, yeah. All right, shamed. So this can be feeling shamed by someone else or internal shamed. Impatience.
You covered up the word with your finger. There you go.
Impatient. There we go. And then the last one, people don't like to admit to this one, but I want you to think about during the day, how many complaints you have, how many times you talk about the weather or your spouse or your kid or your boss.
Kids these days.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Takes me back to Bye Bye Birdie and Paul Lind too. Victimized. Every time you're complaining, whether it's verbally or in your head, you are likely 99% of the time, you're placing yourself as a victim to that thing. If you had to pick your top 3, what would you say they are?
And what is this one more time? What am I picking?
So this is your fear symptom because we don't walk around going, "Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be seen as a failure. We don't walk around like that. But these symptoms show up in our lives on a day-to-day basis. Maybe not all of them. We all have our favorites, but they show up. But they are pointing to the fact that you are stuck in some habituated cycle.
I would say exhausted would be one of them. I know you want me to pick victimized, but
No,
I'm not picking that one.
I'm not.
Because I don't think it is.
I'm not. I had no thought. I knew one you would probably pick, I think. But that was it. I have no preconceived notions.
Paralyzed
Okay, yep.
would be another one. Exhausted, paralyzed, and I don't know if this is the right one or not. This one for sure.
Yes, that's the one I would have.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
That's been a complaint of mine since I've known you.
Yeah.
No one gets me.
No one gets me.
That's why I have a YouTube channel, because that really makes life so much easier.
But you know what? It's exactly though. It's breaking out of this pattern.
It's true. It's
Right?
doing something counter to that.
Because you
That
said
cycle,
you
yeah.
stay quiet. So
Right,
you don't
yeah.
look stupid.
This forces me to say a lot every week. And if you say a lot, you're going to say a lot of dumb things.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you say your exhaustion is tied to? Like describe your exhaustion first. Let's start there.
Physical tiredness. Which you'd think on a carnivore channel I wouldn't have, but I think I've been pretty upfront that I'm working on this energy side thing. So yeah, I think it's just a physical, especially compared to you.
Okay. So you can say, I didn't sleep, my mitochondria is not
Yeah,
working,
yeah.
whatever. You can point to certain things,
Yeah.
but what emotional gymnastics are you doing that might cause exhaustion?
Well,
Did I say emotional?
yeah.
Okay.
I think
Mental gymnastics.
Mental gymnastics
Yeah.
that cause exhaustion.
Yeah.
A fair amount of overthinking would be
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah. 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 And when you're exhausted, what does that give you permission to do?
It gives you permission. It gives me permission to not do certain things on the to-do list. It's like I need to rest up, build up the resources again, so that I can take on these various projects that I've got to do.
Which could be called self-care.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the guise, but it feels like self-care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm not exhausted and saying that I am.
I mean, this feels real.
Yes.
It's a real thing. It's not that you've made it up. Does it ever protect you from looking stupid?
Well, to the extent that I don't do things that would be a risk with either say doing a certain video where I'm less confident in the content, or engaging in social events where I would feel like I could say something dumb that would be embarrassing. Or just not knowing how to, because I have a fair amount of social anxiety already.
Yeah.
That the exhaustion kind of protects me from having to go into that, because I'm like, I don't have the resources for that. I'm not even going to try to work on that today.
If you had to name the fear behind that, so it just gave you permission to skip you don't have to do your to-do list. What's the fear behind not completing your to-do list?
A fear behind not completing it?
Yeah.
Or a fear behind completing it?
Let's do either one. What's the fear behind completing it? Let's start there.
I think it would be more around, well, for me, it's going to be the physical sensation of the effort might feel sketchy, make me anxious in itself.
Okay. So sketchy.
Yeah. It would make me feel like, something's not right. There's something's weird. And that's the anxiety cycle that we've talked about many times here.
So what's the fear behind it feeling sketchy and weird?
Dying.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. How about paralyzed? Tell me about paralyzed.
I think this is where I have 5 or 6 competing theories or no ideas at all. And it's like, what do you do first? Like just yesterday, I said, I was just pulled in 3 different directions, and I stood in the middle of the living room going like this because my body couldn't decide which little task I was about to do. And that can be a paralyzing thing.
Okay.
Sometimes. And, a lot of the tasks have kind of an equal importance. And so I default to the one that, wins an internal coin flip.
Okay. Do they really have equal importance?
Probably not.
Okay. And so what does paralyzed look like? What are you doing? You said yesterday you stopped and you were like, whoa.
Paralyzed it's kind of a combination of frustration and low energy.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know what to do and I have no energy to do anything I could think up. It's a weird combo. But I mean, I don't exist in that all the time, but it does happen from occasion, time to time.
It's not and we don't exist in our fear all the time. So yeah, definitely not. They're usually just certain areas of our life or periods of our life where it might come up.
Yeah.
So that's what paralyzed looks like. What does paralyzed give you permission to do?
Well, I probably to do more thinking.
It gives you permission to do more thinking.
Yeah, more analysis. And you've heard of paralysis by analysis?
Yeah.
Well, you know what analysis feels like? Doing something.
Yeah.
And it is a trap for me because I will analyze my way into a full day of having just written a lot of ideas down, longhand, and like, look what I've created. I was really productive using up pencils today.
So what does it keep you from doing?
The actual work, the actual progress. Because really, I know this from experience, and I'm better at catching myself in this mode of going, no, what I need to do today is put my shoes on and walk out the front door and go to the barn and move one tractor out of the way of the other tractor so I can use that tractor to do the thing that's on the list because I actually like using my tractors and doing that kind of work. But for whatever reason, before I start, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
because I'm pulled in 5 different directions. So I know that what I need to do to get out of paralysis is to take a step.
Okay. So what does paralysis protect you from? I'll leave it there. What does it protect you from?
I don't really know what it protects me from. Maybe it's maybe it's trying to protect me from the perceived discomfort of, the starting energy to get into motion. And also if I choose to do one thing, there's the opportunity cost that if I'm doing this project, I can't be doing these other projects. And so it's actually forcing me to make a decision, a value decision between which one's more important. And so then, or if I choose the one I kind of would rather do, maybe I'm shirking a more important responsibility. There's a lot of internal chatter around those
So
things.
if you're shirking a responsibility, what's the fear underneath that? Or you're placing value on the wrong thing. What's the fear behind
Well, probably not getting something that's important done in time.
And then what happens?
It wouldn't get done and then I would look stupid.
So that one goes directly to stupid, you think?
I don't think anything doesn't go to stupid.
Okay. All right. All right. So,
like remember, we've been together a long time. We've been married for 27 years, 28 years, something like that. And we were together for 3 years prior to that. Every aspect of my health, my weight was always around intelligence.
yeah.
If I was smart, I wouldn't be like this. If I was smart, I would have more discipline. If I was smart, if I was doing what I know I need to do because I'm intelligent, none of these problems would exist. That's how the whole thought process is constructed in my teeming brain.
And just to mention, I mean, you were raised that way. Your family
That was the
values intelligence highly.
that was the message I received, whether it was intentional or not.
Oh yeah, it's never. I mean, our parents are doing the best they can,
right.
and they don't mean to be installing this operating system,
But they did.
but they do. It's how society works and families work. So yeah. So what is if you look stupid, what is even underneath that? Is that a fear of rejection, failure, success, judgment, humiliation,
Well, I think
being out of control. What is it?
Well, it seems obvious it's an ego identity thing. It's like if you were in my family, I was the youngest by 6.5 years. Mm-hmm. And I really think that it was if I said something that was mocked or laughed at, it made me feel like I wanted to die.
Yes.
Like I had no worth at all.
No worth.
Like I was embarrassment to myself and my family. That was not what they said.
No.
That's what I received.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be perceived as a little kid. Yeah. I wanted to be able to meet them at the intellectual level at all times, starting very young. And you can't when you're a little kid.
No, you can't. Well, you talked about ego. Yeah, it's all coming from my ego and identity, right? And that's what I wanted to actually mention when you said it, is that this wheel of fear, again, we're not talking about survival. This is about ego and identity. Yeah. It is absolutely about ego and identity. Okay, so now let's look at the final symptom of fear. Because again, we're not going around saying, oh my gosh, I'm so scared everyone's going to think I'm stupid all the time, right?
Yep.
So misunderstood.
Well, that's when people think I'm wrong when I'm right.
Wait a minute.
What is that? What is it?
Self-righteous.
Yeah, misunderstood is when, I think it's when, one, people don't get my strange sense of humor, and think I'm stupid and frivolous when I'm being intentionally absurd. Mm-hmm. And I get confused. I feel like I've been so clear. Mm-hmm. Like I can't imagine expressing myself more clearly. And yet there seems to be a filter between me and someone else who twists what I say and it gets into their brain in a way I did not intend.
Okay. What is the fear behind, like, why are you worried that someone will twist what you say?
Because they're going to be thinking thoughts about me. Mm-hmm. That are incorrect, inaccurate.
So are they going to judge you? Are they going to reject you? What are they going to?
They could do anything. They could judge me. Mm-hmm. They could reject me. They could think thoughts about my intelligence being low. The irony is that I'm only moderately intelligent. I mean, that's the sad part of this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Is that I have no genius, unfortunately. Mm-hmm.
So
maybe I'm afraid they're right, and that their misunderstanding is because they see something even more clearly than I do, and they can't believe I have the perspective I have because I'm an ignoramus. I mean, that would be terrible.
Yeah, it would. I mean, that's the whole deal right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would only prove your worst fear that you're stupid.
That I actually am stupid.
Yeah.
And there's firm data to show it.
Now, here's the ironic thing, okay? We are not our wheel of fear, right? This is that layer of conditioning, that layer of programming that we've taken on to protect ourselves from looking stupid, looking weak, being rejected, being judged, being humiliated, living in a world of uncertainty, right? So this is not who we are. Actually, quite the opposite is true. Usually we have built our world so much around our wheel of fear that the opposite is true. So now I like your humility, and it's important to recognize that you don't know everything. Of course you don't. And yet most people would not just think you're stupid.
No.
Now, if you're coming in watching from another diet perspective, you might think we're really stupid. But for the most part, people would not think you're stupid. People would not think I'm weak. Because we have built our ego, built our identity, built our persona around being that core trigger, or being the opposite of the core trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we can't, we isolate or withdraw so that we can't be seen. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about how this has its positive side because I strive to be balanced and nuanced in my opinions.
Yeah.
And I really try to be clear with myself about what I don't know. And that's been beneficial to me. So
I agree. Whatever your core trigger is, that thing you're so afraid of being seen as. I'll name a few that we use officially. You might be afraid to be seen as stupid, as weak. Might be afraid to be seen as ordinary, be seen as a reject. You might hate to be seen as someone who's selfish. Those are the ones coming up to mind right now.
what about not being seen at all?
Invisible, yes, that is a trigger as well. The fear of not being seen at all, the invisible, or incompetent. Those are all some of the triggers in the fearless living world. And so they do bring benefits. Like you said, you really are.
Yeah, you build bulwarks around those fears so that you don't get triggered, right? and you build strengths there.
Yeah, you do.
But they are, I think, huge overcompensations that come with big downsides.
Yeah, and here are the downsides: is your resilience goes down.
Yeah.
So you're feeling out of control, misunderstood, self-righteous, impatient, defeated, etc. Those are all signs that this is not working.
So we started this conversation around carnivore and giving up foods and how carnivore seems weird from the outside perspective, but once you're in it, it seems very natural. So how does that relate to this discussion? Is it the same kind of thing as when you give up some of these patterns of behavior that you don't think you could do without, you couldn't survive without?
Right.
You suddenly find that you didn't need them.
That is correct. Yes, because the real you, the you at your core, your essence, you begin to make your choices more authentically and more aligned with who you are at the core of your being. This can tend to cover it up. And so, but this feels natural and normal. And like it's the thing smart people would do. I'll use yours,
Well,
right?
yeah. If you had a weakness, you would make sure you covered it up.
Yeah, but what is the Achilles deal?
You're going to get the arrow in the Achilles.
Yeah.
Regardless.
So when we are first jumping off the wheel of fear and really tapping into the core of who we are rather than how we've been conditioned to be by society, by families, by friends, and just by our own psychology, it can feel uncomfortable. Just like when we started Carnivore. It felt a little uncomfortable. It felt weird to not have that side dish. It felt weird to tell family and friends, oh, I'm not having that gluten-free dessert anymore. Thanks so much for thinking of me, and I'm not doing it. It felt weird to step out of the life that we knew beforehand. This is the life we knew before. So it's about taking those risks. So many times on our channel, we've talked about going outside your comfort zone. And it can feel sketchy. And it can feel weird. And it can feel unnatural. And it might even feel like you're stupid or you're incompetent or, oh my gosh, you might look weak. But that is where the magic lies. Just like when we all chose to move out of our comfort zone, unless who's the woman who's been eating it all her life up in, not Alaska, Maggie. Unless you're like Maggie and has been doing it your whole life, it felt weird. And there is gold at the end. There's gold. There's reward in taking those risks and learning who you really are at your core. Now, I do have another sort of carnivore message.
Okay.
In that there can also in carnivore or any time we take on a new identity. So many of us have taken on the new identity of I am a carnivore, I am a keto person, ketovore, right? We've taken on that identity and we have to be really careful that self-righteous does not come into the mix. this can be just the sign that you're trapped in a different form of this.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked a lot about your wheel of fear. What are you coming away from this with?
Well, we've had this conversation in the past several times about my stupid trigger, which is a stupid trigger. And because I don't like you to coach me,
Yeah.
we can only have conversations around it.
Yeah. I do not coach him.
But, it's a good awareness to have, because one of the, the tricks of becoming an adult is to be aware of your thoughts and what your habitual thoughts are doing and whether they're helpful or not.
Yes.
And it isn't easy to change habitual thinking because it is so to the core of one's identity.
Yeah.
That to not do those protective things feels extremely vulnerable and risky.
Yeah.
And it's just like going carnivore kind of felt a little risky. It's like, am I really going to do this to my LDL? And you either have to decide LDL does not matter, and you have to find the evidence to convince yourself of it. Or you have to say, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but on the balance, I feel better this way.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to medicate that one thing that seems to go a weird direction. And you have to come up with your own internal answer to the problem. It's easy if you can actually believe it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But actually believe, you can see I'm doing this motion. Doesn't happen here. You can think all of the rationale that is convincing, but once you're convinced is a belief.
Yep.
And all of the rationale that you use to get the belief in place may be valuable. And for someone who wants to be intelligent, I would like to be able to point to all of the evidence. But I also know that there's other people who are really intelligent who have more evidence than I do. And I don't know how to sort it all out. So I have to come to a determination. And I think that's the real game is at the belief level. Fundamentally, it's really surfacing what those unstated implicit beliefs about oneself and reality, and then going, is it a justifiable belief? Does it serve me or does it hurt me?
Yeah. I think that's the big thing. Does it serve me or does it hurt me? Because we're never trying, as coaches, we're never trying to convince people of their wheel of fear or that you're afraid. But because we'll have people challenge us and say, no, I don't believe that. And that's fine. Is it working for you?
Well, a long time ago, we did a video that said carnivore is a skill. And it did terrible. No one wanted to hear that. But carnivore is a skill. But what you're talking about is also skill, which is about navigating emotional and thought reactions more skillfully rather than just whatever the unconscious pattern happens to be.
Yes.
Because, everybody knows someone who is stuck in a self-destructive pattern or simply in a pattern that creates an upper limit to their happiness. And if they could change that pattern, they could create more headroom and more upside for themselves. I know that there's way more upside for me. It's just not easy to do.
No, it's not. It's a habitual pattern. So that is what I think I try to do with my clients. I don't know if I could have stated that when I started this 15 years ago, this whole life coaching thing, but it's about having that resilience. So now I feel like my diet, my nutrition gives me a lot more physical resilience. And it's this type of thing that gives me mental resilience, to give me that higher ceiling so that I'm not just bumping up against things and staying in a really small, limited world where I was exhausted and overwhelmed and victimized and what else? Defeated, misunderstood, you name it. Paralyzed. Yes, let's bring that in there too. That's a really limiting life. And I just think about, Jenny Mittich says she does her carnivore channel because what if the whole world were feeling good, like healthy and good? What a difference that would make. And so what a difference would it make if not only are we healthy and well nourished, but we also are not limited in our thinking and not stuck in those patterns that lead to self-destructive cycles.
Let's do it.
Just do it.
Let's all wake up.